May 14th, 2025. The Sierra Nevada mountains. 10 feet of snow. A blizzard raging. Christopher Gutierrez drives up the freshly plowed Kaiser Pass Road, heading to his family's resort, Vermilion Valley. A remote outpost by Lake Edison, closed all winter. He's coming to prep the cabins for summer season. He notices something strange. One of the cabin doors is open. There are shoes outside. Before he can process what he's seeing, a figure bursts from the cabin. A young woman, emaciated, wearing sunglasses in a snowstorm. She doesn't say a word. She just runs and throws her arms around him. Christopher recognizes her face immediately. He's seen it on missing person reports for 2 weeks. Tiffany Slayton, 27 years old, from Georgia, lost in these mountains. Everyone thought she was dead. This is the story of how Tiffany Slayton survived 24 days alone in one of the most unforgiving mountain ranges in North America. A story of 40 miles walked on an injured leg, 13 snowstorms, 5 failed attempts to call for help, and 1 unlocked door that saved her life. The Fresno County Sheriff would later call it a miracle. They would make movies about this. But miracles don't just happen. They're earned. Through skill, determination, and an iron will to survive. Let's go back to where it all began. April 20th, 2025, Huntington Lake, California. Tiffany Slayton rides her electric bike past a surveillance camera. She's smiling, wearing a backpack, sitting on a curb checking her gear. This is her first real vacation in years, longer than 3 days. She works as a traveling dialysis technician, constantly on the move, caring for others. She coaches archery. She studies horticulture, knows plants, knows how to forage. She's taking 3 days to herself. Solo camping in the Sierra Nevada, heading toward Mono Hot Springs, a beautiful area of thermal pools and alpine forests. She has her e-bike, a tent, 2 sleeping bags, basic gear. She knows what she's doing. She's an experienced outdoors person. The plan is simple. 3 days in the wilderness, then back to reality. She has no idea what's about to happen. April 22nd. Somewhere in the mountains between Huntington Lake and Mono Hot Springs, Tiffany makes a wrong turn. Or maybe the trail gives way. Or maybe it's just bad luck. She falls. Not a stumble, a fall, off a cliff. When she wakes up, 2 hours have passed. She's unconscious that entire time at the bottom of a rocky slope. Her knee is dislocated. Excruciating pain. She's alone. No cell signal. No one knows where she is. Most people would panic. Tiffany would later say, "The worst thing you can do in an emergency situation is panic." She doesn't. Instead, she does something extraordinary. She pops her knee back into place. Then she fashions a splint for her leg using whatever material she can find. She's hurt, but she's functional. She can walk. Barely, but she can move. That's when she hears it. A sound like thunder, but different. Deeper. More ominous. An avalanche. The path she came from the road back to Huntington Lake is now buried under tons of snow and ice. Impassable. The only way out is forward, deeper into the mountains, toward higher elevations, toward the unknown. She has no choice. She starts walking. April 29th, 7 days later. Tiffany's parents in Georgia haven't heard from their daughter in over a week. That's not like her. Even on vacation, she checks in. They call the authorities. Fresno County Sheriff's Office opens a missing person case. The search begins.
Kits and ropes, move! Load the trucks! We're moving out now! Hello is airborne! Get to the grid! Check the map. Confirm the last position.
Alerts go out. Tips come in from the community. Search and rescue teams mobilize. They focus on the area around Huntington Lake and Mono Hot Springs. 600 square miles of rugged terrain, dense forests, steep canyons, snowfields. They search on foot. They search by helicopter. SAR teams cover 4,300 miles, combing every trail, every creek bed, every clearing. They find nothing. Why? Because Tiffany isn't where they think she is. She's not on a trail. She's not near a campground. She's miles away, pushing higher and higher into the mountains, toward Lake Edison, toward an area so remote that most people never go there. And the snow is hiding everything. Her footprints, her gear, any sign she was ever there. 2025 is an unusually heavy snow year in the Sierra Nevada. Late-season storms, one after another, dumping snow well into May. Climate anomalies. The kind of weather that turns a routine search into an impossible task. The helicopter flies over the area where Tiffany is walking. The pilots don't see her. They can't. The snow is too deep. The terrain is too vast. She's invisible. Meanwhile, Tiffany is fighting for her life. Day 5. She's out of food. The small supplies she brought for a 3-day trip are gone. Her knee throbs with every step. Her sleeping bags are wet, almost useless. She tries to call 911. No signal. She tries again and again. 5 times total. 5 failures. She pulls out her GPS device. It doesn't work. Dead zones. She gets frustrated. I eventually got mad at my GPS and decided to ask, well, where's the nearest Starbucks? 18 miles away. That's the answer. 18 miles to civilization. On a dislocated knee. Through snow, through storms. So she walks. She uses every skill she has. Her training as a horticulturist kicks in. She forages for wild leeks, small but edible. She boils snow for water. She makes tea from manzanita berries and pine needles, rich in vitamin C, to keep scurvy at bay. Every day she writes in her journal, quote, to keep sane, unquote, documenting her journey, talking to herself, talking to God. She climbs, higher and higher. Some passes reach 11,000 feet. The air is thin, her lungs burn, her legs screams, but she keeps moving. She sleeps under leaves. She burrows into snowdrifts for insulation. She loses 10 pounds. Her body is eating itself. Muscle, fat, anything for energy. The storms keep coming, one after another. Whiteout conditions, freezing temperatures. She can't see 5 feet in front of her. She wraps herself in whatever she can find and waits for them to pass. "13 storms total. 13 times she thinks this might be the end. But it's not. Somewhere around day 15, something shifts. Tiffany starts to hallucinate. The isolation, the exhaustion, the starvation, they're all taking a toll on her mind.
Who's there?
She sees things that aren't there, hears voices in the wind.
No, get away!
But she keeps walking. May 13th, day 23. Tiffany crests a ridge. Below her, through the trees, she sees something. A structure, cabins, a resort. Vermilion Valley Resort. By Lake Edison. Remote, off-grid, closed for the winter. She stumbles down the slope, checks the doors. Locked, locked, locked. Then, one opens. She steps inside. It's dry. There's a sleeping bag on the bed. The best sleeping bag I'd ever seen in the world. But no one is here. The resort is empty. No food, no phone, just a dry place to sleep. She stays for 8 hours, resting, trying to gather strength. She knows she can't stay forever. She'll have to leave, keep walking, and find help. But she doesn't know that help is already on the way. May 14th. Storm number 13, the worst one yet. A blizzard. Tiffany would later say, that was the 13th heavy snowstorm I had been in, and it was going to be the last one. If he hadn't come that day, they would have found my body there. But someone does come. Christopher Gutierrez, the owner of Vermilion Valley Resort. He's driving up Kaiser Pass Road, freshly plowed after being buried under 10 to 12 feet of snow. He's heading to his family's resort to get it ready for the summer season. He parks, walks toward the cabins, and sees the open door. At first he's confused. Did someone break in?
What the?
Then he sees the shoes. Before he can think, Tiffany bursts out. She's wearing sunglasses. Her eyes are damaged from snow blindness. She doesn't say a word and hugs him. Christopher recognizes her instantly. He's seen the missing person reports. Everyone thought she was dead. He calls the sheriff. Within hours, Tiffany is in a hospital, dehydrated, malnourished, injured, but alive, stable.
Dad, I'm alive.
She calls her father. It's one day before her 28th birthday. The news spreads fast. Tiffany Slayton, missing for 24 days in the Sierra Nevada, has been found, alive.
It is truly an incredible story of perseverance, determination, and survival.
Sheriff John Zanoni holds a press conference. Tony Body, the sheriff's spokesperson, tells reporters, 2 days, 9 days, that's amazing. But 3 weeks, it's unheard of. So how did she do it? Skill. Tiffany's background as a horticulturist gave her foraging knowledge. She knew which plants were edible, which ones would keep her alive. Her work as a dialysis technician gave her medical training. She knew how to treat her injuries, how to prevent infection, how to manage pain. Her experience as an archery coach gave her focus, discipline, the ability to stay calm under pressure. Preparation. Even though this was supposed to be a short trip, she had the basics. A tent, sleeping bags, some food, water purification. She knew how to make fire, how to navigate, how to read the land. Faith. Every night, she said, it was me and God. That belief kept her going when her body wanted to quit. And luck. The unlocked cabin. The timing of the snowplows. Christopher Gutierrez arriving that exact day. If any one of those things had been different, this story would have ended differently. Tiffany herself acknowledges this. I actually thought that I was losing my mind. I thought that somehow I managed to make it to the North Pole. When she first saw the cabin, she hallucinated that it was Santa's workshop, a sleigh outside. Her mind was breaking, but she pushed through. The aftermath. Tiffany recovers. Physically, she'll heal. The knee will mend. The weight will come back. The eye damage will fade. But emotionally, psychologically, that's a different story.
I had pretty much fallen off a cliff trying to go on vacation for the first time.
She jokes about it.
I may never do a real vacation longer than 3 days ever again.
But there's truth in that humor. Trauma doesn't just disappear. She spent 24 days thinking every day might be her last. That changes a person. Still, she's alive. And that's what matters. Her story has inspired thousands. People reaching out, sharing their own survival stories, thanking her for showing what's possible. But it's also sparked debate about solo hiking. Is it worth the risk? Tiffany was experienced, prepared, careful, and still disaster-struck. Should people hike alone? There's no easy answer. Solo hiking offers solitude, freedom, self-reliance, but it also means no backup if things go wrong. The buddy system exists for a reason. Tiffany's advice?
The worst thing you can do in an emergency situation is panic. Stay calm, use your skills, think, adapt, survive.
This is the story of Tiffany Slayton, a woman who fell off a cliff, walked through 13 snowstorms, survived 24 days alone in the Sierra Nevada mountains, and lived to tell the tale. A miracle? Maybe, but also proof that the human spirit, when pushed to its limits, can do extraordinary things.